on Inspiration, we're at an event held by the Parliamentary Friends of Women in Maths, Science and Engineering, where we are going to be interviewing 3 women who are conducting groundbreaking research. Thank you very much, both of you, for putting on such an amazing event today. Can you please tell us a bit about how that came about and what you hope to achieve?
Our focus at the beginning was to shine a gender lens and look at some of the barriers, but as we started speaking to women in these different fields, it also became clear that we wanted to celebrate and actually shine a light on the achievements of women in these areas.
We wanted to play our part in making that connection between the Parliament and also women in science, maths and engineering.
One of the wonderful things that all the women spoke about was making sure they were mentoring younger people coming up.
Thank you, Professor Rosenthal. You graduated doing a PhD at Harvard in 1981 and it was about equal numbers. Why do you think that this drops off when you go in the upper echelons of academia and science?
By the time I left Harvard in 2001, I was one of 2 senior faculty in a faculty of 700. The data suggests that it is not necessarily linked with childbearing. There are plenty of women scientists who have very active family lives and still are extremely successful, and others who have dropped out without having had children. Taking no for an answer just wasn't an option for me. So there were impediments, and there were obviously gender bias issues that came up during my career. But if I kept my eye on the science, which was what I was really interested in, and worked on what I loved, then I found ways around these impediments. And so I guess my advice to a young woman is, don't be afraid to follow what it is that really makes you excited when you wake up in the morning.
Where you studied in Serbia, there was a lot more women studying engineering. Why do you think that is, and what do you think we can do about it?
I think personally it's culture. It's the way how we raise our kids. That even in high schools, girls don't take maths and science, but take arts and languages, and then it's too late. The dropout from engineering practice by women is huge. And it's a lot to do with culture in these engineering firms. And there are some areas like construction, and I'm a civil engineer, where you will have only 5% of girls being in the whole industry, which means it'll be 50 boys and you in your office, which lots of women just don't feel like enduring.
Can you please tell us a bit about your history and how you became an astrophysicist?
I was reasonably good at maths at school, and I got lucky with good teachers. And so when I realised I could study mathematics and astrophysics at the same time at Monash University, I thought, yay, that's what I'll do. So I did, and I'm still there.
And when you did your course at Monash University, how many women were there?
In physics, the numbers were pretty crummy, and I must say we didn't feel very welcome in the physics department back in the 70s. Things have improved a lot now, I hear. They don't stick around after that, or they may do a postdoctoral fellowship. And my theory is that they don't like the atmosphere, this sort of competitive, slightly aggressive, or very aggressive sometimes, atmosphere.
How do you think we can change that atmosphere as a society, but also, you know, within the science community or academia itself?
We can be proactive in it by recognising that this actually is a problem, and we can actively promote a positive, environment, a much friendlier, collegiate environment in departments and faculties and universities. You know, I've been studying mathematics for forever, for decades and decades, and to be able to use that language to find out things people never knew before about nature is the biggest buzz. It's better than drugs, better than sex, better than anything, yeah.
I'm in Singapore with Phua, serial social entrepreneur. Thanks so much for joining us in your beautiful home.
Thank you.
So what is a serial social entrepreneur?
I think that as far as being a social entrepreneur, you first have to be doing something good. Doing business is difficult enough. If you have a business, you don't have a right income, you don't make money, how can you do anything good? Social entrepreneurs would be doing business and doing something good for the people or for the community or for the environment.
So you have to help yourself before you can help others.
Definitely. Otherwise, if your pocket is not deep enough, you have got no partners or sponsors or people that's going to support you. You cannot help too many people. And if you want to be a serial social entrepreneur, you must have a network. Without that network, how are you going to grow? So you've got to ask yourself this, what is your passion? What is it that you love to do, to help? I think the passion is the thing that drives a business. And if you don't have the passion to put an extra effort in the business, as I said again, doing business is tough. You got to think of all the various revenues, managing the people, getting the network and growing with it. But if you have the passion to help as a social projects, at least that drives you, that encourages you, that you feel that, all right, maybe today is not such a good day, but with passion, it keeps burning, and you try even harder. All right, you can do perhaps a small project at a time, and then from there you grow.
So you've done a number of different social enterprises.
Yeah.
Can you please tell us the one that you recently did in Cambodia?
I look around and I see that people are having a lot of ill health. And what is the cause of the ill health? Ill health is basic thing, drinking. Whatever you consume inside, it reflects out, right? So from there you explore further. What is the best solutions for these people? The easiest thing, provinces like this has got no energy. There's no power to drive. There's no water pipe that goes to the home. There's no access to any kind of water. All they have is what God has given us, which is the rainwater, the river water, and all that. So I met up with a company over here and says, okay, this is the situation. Is there any way you can help? So as a social entrepreneur, you have to look for the source of the problem. Then you look into whatever connections, whatever network that's able to come in and support you. So I went to High Flux, a good friend of mine, Olivia Lam, and I said, Olivia, this is the problem, and you are in the water technology. That's what Singapore gets the clean water from. So we came out with a device. So we worked through the solution.
Can you tell us how you mentor women and how you are a role model for other women that want to get into social entrepreneurship?
When you move around and you see people, you see children, you see women, they have a lot of ability. So what we do is we encourage them to be financially independent, keep some money aside for yourself in case you never know what's going to happen.
You don't want to rely on a man.
Right. So we encourage them to at least have an income, be whatever resources that you have, whatever ability that you have, you maximize. Do it from the home. You can do it wherever you are, and that works. So the only thing is that you do need to encourage them. You do need to coach them. You do need to guide them along. In order to encourage them, you need to recognize them, for instance. So under the International Women's Federations of Singapore, I have initiated an award to recognize extraordinary women who are mother, a daughter, started her own business, at the same time doing social good, the community, doing social business. So it's all about inspiring yourself, inspiring others to go forward to do that, and sharing. I mean, women are very good at sharing, and once you have that recognitions and you're very proud of it, and that is self-motivations. Money you can earn, you can spend it, but self-motivation drives any kind of passion.
Thank you very much for having us in Singapore, and we look forward to hearing more of your projects that not only help the community but women and the society in general.
Fantastic. Thank you
so
very
much.
One of the ways where young women can develop their own leadership style is actually to be caught up in the inspiration of women that they admire and respect, to use other women as their role models. And in talking to other women, I'm quite certain they will discover that the hardest step was really taking that first step. So never be frightened of taking that first step.
Well, up next, we learn how to make a mouth-watering traditional Sicilian apple and ricotta cake. Yum! And we also celebrate the International Day of the Girl with a 10-metre erasable billboard at Flinders Street Station.